me get the mic. Honey, I got something to say. Ooh, I like that. Can you turn that up for me? No, like, it's Maja. But you know, Maj for short. Ask Maj.
What's up? What's up? It's your girl Maj, and we are back with another episode of Ask Maj, the podcast, where I'm spilling all the real tea. Y'all, we are one episode away from the season finale, so this is the second to last. Can you believe that this is the end of the season and my 1 year anniversary of Ask Maj podcast is coming up? I cannot believe it's been one whole year, but I'm not going to get too much into it because I have something super special planned for the season finale. So we'll get into that on the actual season finale. But I got a really bomb interview for you. I'm talking to his name is Jamal Averett, and he and I go way back. We were at A&T together in college, and we end up becoming Mr. and Miss A&T together. And so that's my king, and we've been such good friends ever since. And so he's has such an amazing story about taking a leap of faith and moving to LA on a whim, just on a step of faith. And living his dream, living his life. So I think that his story will be inspiring to a lot of people. It has inspired me in so many ways. He just has so much knowledge and wisdom that he's gained from this crazy but amazing transition. So we'll get to that in just a second. But I actually wanted to steal my Maj moment from our conversation. And so during the interview, I asked him about his advice for, other people who want to take that leap of faith, but, are scared, are afraid, have doubt, have worry, are anxious about just making that big of a move. And when I say move, I don't necessarily mean just physically, like moving to a different location, but just a new move in your life, in your career, in your relationship, whatever that may be. And so I asked him about, what his advice was, when you have all that fear and all of that doubt and all of that anxiety. He was like, Maja, just do it. He was like, just do it. And so when as he was talking, I just was thinking, those fears, those bills, your family, your friends, none of that is going away. So regardless if you choose to do what you want to do or you choose not to do what you want to do, whether you choose to take that leap of faith or you don't choose to take that leap of faith, whether you choose to step out of your comfort zone or choose not to step out of your comfort zone, none of that stuff is going anywhere. Those bills are still going to be there. Your friends' opinions are still going to be there. Your family's opinions are still going to be there no matter what you do. So at the end of the day, it's about, what you taking that leap of faith because you believe that this is your purpose, because God has given you a vision that only you and him can understand. So the Maj moment for the day, for the week, for the hour, for the month, for the year is however long you need it. Is stop thinking about it and just do it. I don't know who needs to hear this, but honey, just do it. Stop thinking about it. Stop asking people for their opinions. Stop fearing. Stop worrying. Stop being so anxious. Just do it, honey. Pray about it and do it. If you believe that this is your true calling, that this is your purpose, do it. What are you waiting for? Why are you wasting time? Just do it. So that is the Maj moment for this week. And we are going to jump right into this interview because I am so excited for you all to hear his story and just how he's overcome just so many different things, homelessness. And I don't want to tell his story. I want him to tell his story, but he's overcome so many different things. And he just refuses to give up. Even after obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, he refuses to give up because he feels that he believes that he has a God-given purpose to do what he is doing. So let's jump right into it. Hello.
Oh,
Come on, background.
Let me tell you this. My little,
I love it. I wanted to bring you on because I think a lot of people have been inspired by your story. And so real quick, just a couple of fun facts about Jamal. Jamal and I went to A&T together, and we ended up becoming Mr. and Miss North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University together. So if If you hear me call him King, that's why.
Crazy. Ain't gonna lie. I found this shirt just for you today.
Oh my gosh, I have mine in my drawer. Yes. I cannot. Yes, I love it. Okay, let me get my light together because I feel a little too bright. Hold on.
I know.
This little lamp be. I feel like too.
Oh, you got different levels. Okay.
I got levels, honey. It's levels to this. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn it down a little bit. Okay, there we go. I think I can deal with that. Okay. So yes, and like I said, so Jamal and I have a crazy history. And we've known each other for a while. Well, since college, I guess, but we've become.
I feel like we knew. Like, I feel it's crazy, Maj. I feel like we didn't really we knew of each other like freshman year, sophomore year, but like I feel like junior year is that when we started running.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it seems so much longer than that, right? Like it seems like we've been friends for a long time. But Jamal's story is so inspiring. And I'm gonna let him kind of jump into this in a second. But like I said, we both went to A&T together, and maybe 2 to 3 years after graduating, Jamal picked up all his stuff and moved to LA to chase his dream. And so it's been history ever since. So like I said, I don't want to go too much into detail because I want him to tell his story. So Jamal, tell us about your story. What is your story?
Yeah, so shout out to my queen, 81, I'm super grateful that I got a chance to make it on the podcast. So proud of you, queen. You truly are just doing freaking phenomenal. I'm just so proud of you, man. But
thank you.
Yeah, I'm originally from North Carolina, and growing up, I grew up in a single parent home. My dad wasn't in my life, my dad at all. So I always had this visual kind of this life, what I wanted to be growing up. And so, when I went to A&T, going through that and, graduating after 2016 and you already know after becoming Mr. and Mrs., like it's so much expectations on what people you should be doing after college, or, people think you could have this job, or people think you should be doing this, doing that. And, I kind of felt under pressure, you know what I mean? So I got this amazing opportunity when I graduated college to work at a company called Oracle in DMV area, which is an amazing opportunity. It afforded me to get my master's while I was there. So I was super grateful for the opportunity. But it got to a point, I remember I was getting ready to turn 25 and I came to visit LA. I've never been to LA before ever. And so when I came to visit, it was just the energy in the, it's weird. It's just I felt like I belong. I don't know how, I don't know what avenue, I don't know what way, but I felt like I belong in this industry, in this air. And so after I left, I went to stay with one of my close friends, Chantel, at the time. Shout out to Chantel. And she let me stay with her, and then she just kind of gave me the whole rundown and kind of the acting business. So here I am, coming from a corporate background, not really knowing anything about acting, entertainment industry, just kind of jumping into it. And it's just something I say this all the time. You get a feeling when you know that you have to do an opportunity or make a move. It's hard to explain. You can't really talk about it. People don't really understand it. Kind of like, where's this coming from? When did you want to become an actor? There's so many things that people just what's going on? But I knew I had to make a jump, and I just feel like I was just getting comfortable. And I hate being comfortable because I feel like I can't grow when I'm in a comfortable space. And so I just packed in my bags. I remember 2015. I went to go visit LA in March 2019. And I said, you know what, I'm going to just do it. I'm going to move to LA. I don't know how, but I'm going to just do it. And so I moved May 22nd. And so before I moved, I just took my whole phone okay out. But no, before I did that, before I went my whole phone okay out, I took a loan out, and I told my job that I was moving. So I kind of did some really just walk by faith and not by situation. And I just did it. And just and I'm gonna be honest, it was a tough time. And I know we'll talk about it more in detail, but I just I knew that it was something I needed to do and that I wanted to do. And I'm so glad I did it, because a lot of times I just didn't want to live life in a what if. And I know that we all called to do great things on different platforms, whether it's LA, whether it's starting a podcast, whether it's doing whatever, starting to watch business, whatever it might be. But when you call and you know that you call, can't nothing or anyone stop you. Get this feeling, you get this pull, and you just want to just keep on going.
Absolutely. Yes. And don't jump too ahead because I got some questions for you. So is it safe to say that you are pursuing an acting career, acting in entertainment? Is that safe to say?
Yes. Full-time actor, director, but like writer, but for the most part, like acting wholeheartedly for sure, like just training wholeheartedly acting. Right.
Okay, good stuff. So I know you mentioned kind of like when you were young, this was something that you were, interested in. So I guess my question is more specifically, when did you know, this was the path that you wanted to take? Like, when did you know you wanted to be an actor and an entertainer? Like, when did you know that?
I think it's crazy. I think I knew, say like prior, because I remember when I was like in church, I grew up in church. We would go up in church, but we used to like little plays and stuff, but I just never thought that I was enough. You know what I mean? And I kind of go back to my just, being a bigger kid and, dealing with low self-esteem. And I think, we know this about myself, but I remember moments I used to wrap like tape around my whole entire body, you know what I'm saying? And I never felt loved. It called me to deal with so many things, from low self-esteem, depression, dealing with homosexuality. It was just so much that I was dealing with at that time. I didn't feel like I was enough I didn't feel prepared. I didn't feel like I was equipped to show the world my gifts. And so as I got older and I started kind of losing the way and I kind of started proving to myself that I can do something, that's when things started kind of, I realized like, as long as you work out hard at something, you stay true and committed, you can do it. And I think, of course, after, going through doing Mr. Miss Auntie with you and, being on that opportunity, that platform, it really kind of opened my eyes to know that everything that we've been through, like our scars, our mistakes, like those are what needed to make someone else smile. And once I realized that, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna just do this entertainment industry, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just to be able to, for one, tell stories and be able to tap into these characters and to tell these narratives of kind of like a person, whether it's, them, going out and, doing a football career, whatever it might be, but just telling stories and let people know that, you could do this too. So I think it was a lot of things that kind of led me to realize that this is the path that I wanted to. But I think the most part was like the biggest thing, the biggest lesson was I want to be able to tell stories, because it took me a while to be able comfortable in my own skin. So now I'm comfortable in my own skin. I want to be able to tell the different stories out here and help people, get better in different ways.
Right. And I love what you said about you hate being comfortable, right? Like you feel like nothing is accomplished when you're comfortable. Like you feel like, the magic essentially is what happens outside of your comfort zone. So one thing you talked about was kind of taking that leap from, or that transition from corporate straight into entertainment, right? So for those of you who don't know, Oracle is a major tech company. And Jamal went straight from Oracle, straight from tech, directly into entertainment. So what was that transition like for you? Like how was that transition for you?
Honestly, Maj, it was tough, bro. Like it was tough. like it was really tough, because I'm like, I got comfortable. Like I was comfortable in that living. When you get comfortable making a certain amount of money, you know what I mean? Like whether you're not used to having to ask anybody for nothing. Like you're stable, you're comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So it was a big level of uncomfortability. When I tell you, in order to do anything, you have to be stretched. You have to be stretched past your capacity. Like it was just a journey. And I remember when I was going through the journey, I was like, you know what, Jamal, like, is this really kind of what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going from making a certain amount of money every 2 weeks. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you happen to be a server. I remember when I first moved to LA, like I was serving record at a gym and cleaning up tables, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing that was nothing ever wrong with that, but it's like, it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different than what you're used to. And so you kind of go through that stage of like, is this kind of what you want to do? And it's like, it's different energy out here in LA as well too. So it's like coming from a small town, like I'm very, very, genuine kind of how I do certain things. So I just kind of had to be very, very mindful of who I let people in, because I'm just let everybody in, you know what I'm saying? So it was a big gap, but I thank God for those experiences, like working at the tech company and going to get my education, because those things, it got that grind in me. You know what I'm saying? When you got that grind, like it don't matter, like you're gonna be good. As long as that grind is good and you good and you know where you come from, like can't nobody tell anything about you or try to do anything or try to like navigate you or do anything to tear you down, because you know who you are at the end of the day.
Right, right. I love that. It's very interesting. You talked about, kind of working that 9 to 5 and becoming comfortable, right? Stable. Like, you get out of college, you're working this great job. You don't have to ask anybody for anything. You're paying your bills. You're taken care of. And you can kind of move how you want because that check is coming, every week or every 2 weeks. So I love how you talked about that. So this was a major leap for you, right? Because you were coming from this place of stability, like, I'm good. I can move how I want. I can do what I want. I don't have to ask anybody for anything. I'm in a stable place. I have a great job. To moving into, like, I don't know what the heck is about to happen. So where did that courage come from? Like, first of all, pulling yourself out of a comfortable place is already extremely tough. But pulling yourself out of a not only comfortable but stable place into a place of the unknown is extremely scary. So where did that courage come from? Because you talked about, not feeling like you were enough or not feeling like you were ready to share your dreams or what'd you say, your talents, your gifts with the world. So where did that courage come from? You talked about, I went to visit LA. This was my first time. And then 3 or 4 months later, I was out.
Crazy, like, I don't know, like, I really like, honestly, I get so hyped talk about this because I got tired of just like saying like I can do this, you know what I'm saying? Like I can like be just like this person. I'm like, you know what? Like I had to be confident like in my talents and what I knew that God has given me. And it's like, honestly, it was really one of the things where it's just like, when you just know. And I just kind of had to look at my situation. I'm like, you know what? I had just turned 25. Shout out to you for throwing out the biggest 25 party for me. I'm like, you know what? If I look at things like this, I look at my age like it's 5s, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm round up to 30. So I'm like, you know what? Like this, when I turn 25, I'm like, you know what? I gotta move. Whatever I want to do right now in my life, if I don't do it now, I'm not saying I can't do it, but I don't want to wait too late. And so me turning 25, that really was a big motivation for me because I'm like, you know what? 25 round and that's 30, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it gotta be serious, it gotta be intentional. If I'm not happy, I can't be in it. If it's not making me better, I can't waste any more time, you know what I'm saying? Because time is valuable. And I just kind of know like kind of where my family and kind of what I want to be able to provide for my family and just people around me and opportunities. And I'm like, you know what? It's going to take somebody like in our corner, in our circle, because we hear about all of these stories, these success stories, the Steve Harveys, the Tyler Perrys, the Taraji P. Hensons, all of these people who took a chance on themselves, and look at them now, great, successful entrepreneurs, actors, like writers and everything like that. But when was that story going to be like, who, like, I want it to be like, I guess my question for me, I'm like, you know what, Jamal, like, if you want to do this, if you want that story to be you got to act on that obedience. You got to act on that faith. And so I got I really, really got tired of telling people, you know what I'm saying, walk in your purpose. And, I also didn't want to be a speaker, of course, but I kind of got tired of preaching that. And I really wasn't listening to my own self, what I was preaching. I wasn't practicing what I was preaching. So my thing is, I'm like, I can't be no hypocrite. So I need to make sure, like, if I'm saying do what you need to do and follow your dreams, I'm doing that. So for me, it's just about, you know what, just tunnel vision, seeing the vision, seeing the goal, and just pushing forward no matter what obstacles come your way.
Yeah. And speaking of obstacles, what were some of the things that you faced? And I love that you talked about, some of the people that inspire you, that you look up to, your Tyler Perrys, your Tarajis. I think of like Oprah.
Oh my God! Like,
okay.
Jamie Foxx, like,
yes, okay. Hey, Jamie. But even though those people inspire you, your story is still going to be a little bit different. And I say that to say, it kind of goes into my next question. I want to talk about, what obstacles you face. And for those of you who are listening, understand that, like, I like to talk about challenges of my stories, of other people's stories, not because this is what your story is going to look like, but to talk about how you overcame. And so it goes for you too, for those who are listening, whatever challenges that you are dealing with, it's not about the challenges, being the same as somebody else's or your story being similar to somebody else's. It's about how you individually and uniquely overcame those challenges. So in that, what obstacles did you face in that transition of moving to LA and really becoming, I guess, acquainted and assimilated to that LA life?
I don't even know where to start because it's one of those things where it's like, you get back up, it's always gonna be something. You know what I mean? Like when I tell you this, Maja, one thing I learned this past 2 years, because it's about to be 2 years in May of this year.
I know, it's my birthday. He left for my birthday, y'all. Let me say that I'm still salty, okay? Anyway,
crazy. I literally did, and it's crazy. I felt like I didn't really tell anybody either.
I know. Oh, I know, Chill.
It was crazy because like even sometimes like I don't know, but like when I say about the obstacles, like it's crazy because I remember when I had first got out here, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, one thing that I think we all struggle with is pride. Ooh, Lord, that pride. That's really the word for me, because when you're doing something different, when you're doing something new, when you're doing that something that has necessarily have not been done in your facility of kind of people that you can maybe reach out to and ask about their experiences, you're really kind of learning from trial and error. It's nobody else you can really, unless, you know, outside of YouTube videos, you can kind of, but it's different when you actually know that person at that touch and you can call somebody up. So everything for me, I'm like, you know what, like I gotta just do it. So I remember when I first moved out here, I was actually sleeping in my car because it was a long story short. I'm gonna keep it real short, but long story short, I had a friend who I knew who was already in LA, already out here, and so we was gonna be roommates together. And so, long story short, he kind of dropped the ball and et cetera, as far as like not on his other half, as far as like, you know what I'm saying, for the rent for our new spot. So I ended up kind of being without a place to stay, and I had shipped my car and everything out here a week prior to me actually flying out here to LA. And so I shipped all of my stuff out here, and he kind of flaked on me, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really kind of have no place to stay because we were supposed to actually move into like my spot. I got here on Wednesday and we were supposed to move into my spot on that Friday. So I had to end up staying with our mutual friends and stay for about 2 days. And so long story short, I just didn't have no place to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty sure I could have, but you know what I'm saying? When you're in a new season of your life, and it's like you wanna make sure like make people feel like you have everything together. And I, you know what I'm saying, I was kind of, you know what I'm saying, immature because that was something I just, you know, something sometimes we always deal with. We don't want people knowing that we going through something, you know what I'm saying? So I was sleeping in my car. I'll never forget, like I went into this spa. It's this place called Spa. It's like downtown LA. And I was like in my car sleep or whatever, and like the security guard came knock on the door, was like, "You gotta leave." And I would just remember just feeling so low, feeling so empty, and just I was like, you know what, God, like, is this kind of what I wanted to do? And even earlier that day, my car had got broken into, like, and it was just a lot of stuff going on. And then I remember me vividly, like taking showers at Planet Fitness and just going through all of these like things that maybe I honestly didn't have to go through, but me having that pride issue and like not wanting people to know kind of what I'm going through, you know what I'm saying? Like it was tough. And so fast forward, you know what I'm saying, I ended up getting my new spot, which is great. But even through that, like I mentioned, it was tough because I, you know what I'm saying, working at being a server and working at a gym and just going through all of the things that like, you know, that you just never knew you had to go through. It was tough. And I remember it was times where like I had to ask people for like money for rent and just so many things that was going on. Like I felt like I just wanted to really just quit and give up. And I never forget, I ended up wiping my whole entire 401k out. It got to the point where it's like, you know what, Jamal, if you really want this goal, if you want this dream, you don't have no bread, you don't have no money. So it's like, you got to do it. And I wiped everything out. Like I have nothing. If I was to like, I have nothing in my 401k right now. You know what I'm saying? So everything I do now got to be intentional. It got to be, because I'm right now, I'm literally working like, not just from the ground up, but I'm just kind of working from the ground up to sustain my career, my future for my family. And so the obstacles, bro, it's been so many obstacles, bro. But when I tell you every obstacle has like literally birthed something inside of me, it's birthed new belief, it's birthed new greatness, it's birthed new passions, it's birthed new lanes and new doors. And I promise you, like, trouble don't last always. Like the obstacles gonna happen, and it's always obstacles. Like it's always something going on, but it's always. But when I tell you all this is when you're a good person and God continues to make ways out of no way. Like that's how I know that God was in this movie, because it's been so many times, Maja, literally where like I just didn't know how I was gonna get to point A to point B, but God provided, a miracle came, like a blessing came, an opportunity came, and God has been good. So I just think, you know what, if you can just stay down and stay 10 toes down when you're going through those tough times and know that those situations is going to get better, you're going to make it. And because good people don't go through struggles for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Those struggles make you better. Those struggles make you prepare for what's coming your way. So it's so many obstacles obstacles I can name literally, but it's like for me, it's to the point now I change my mindset. It's like, you know what, if I'm going through a tough time, if that money looking low, if I don't know how I'm gonna pay that bill or whatever, like I know I just know that it's a part of the journey, and I know that God is getting ready to bless me in a mighty way. So I just look at it like that. It's all about mindset and perspective, and people
all about mindset.
They mess themselves up truly, like just by thinking so negative. And I think coming from a small town and being that energetic person and going to A&T, shout out to North Carolina A&T, those opportunities and those experiences has prepared us to deal with the naysayers, to deal with the negative people, because we know how to deal, we know how to navigate. So it's been a lot of obstacles, but you know what I'm saying, the obstacles are good because it helps you get to those good days.
Right. I just love that. I love everything about what you just said. But my favorite part was about you talking about what obstacles birth, right? Like they birth greatness, they birth new opportunities, they birth new lanes, they birth open doors. I absolutely love that. So when we think about, and another thing that was interesting that you said is, taking a leap of faith, meaning, the obstacles don't stop, right? Like after you overcome one, there's another one waiting on you.
It keep coming, like it keeps on you, bro. Like you like, yo, what is going on? But I think the thing is with obstacles, it's like, I think what God does is like he wants us to figure out what we can learn from that. You know what I'm saying? So if it wasn't me going through the obstacle when I first moved here, I would have learned that you can't have pride. It's got people, when I tell you, like, seriously, a lot of you not much. When I tell you, it's people who really are waiting for opportunity to sow into our lives, to sow into our visions, but we block our blessings by that pride. And you know what I mean? That's when they got to learn. Like, I'm like, I ain't prideful. Like, if I need some money, like, I'm like, yo, like, I'm taking donations, you know what I'm saying? And like, when I tell you the amount of love, and this how I knew that this was, I'm in the right business, and I'm doing what I need to do, because when people start investing their own money into your career, you know what I'm saying? People that, you know what I'm saying, you might have one encountering or whatever. That's what I tip all the time. Like, people always remember how you make them feel. It could be that one interaction, but like, and that one interaction can sow money into your life. Like, I promise you, like this, like it's just been so much. I know we're gonna get to it more, but you gotta them obstacles really birth something, bro. It really birth something. People gotta believe that. Like, don't get frustrated. Don't get mad or angry, but just know, like, if you just stay 10 toes down and you stay keep going and be a good person, it's all gonna work out.
Come on, 10 toes down. So how would you say, and I know we've talked a lot about, how opportunities give you strength and help you grow, but how would you say you stay afloat? Even, because you talked about, it seems, the obstacles don't stop because, God always wants you to learn something or take something from those things. So how do you stay afloat? What makes you like say, I'm not going to give up, I'm going to stay here? Because I know you think about like, forget this. I'm done. So how do you stay afloat and really build that resilience to say, even though this is hard, I don't know what, I'm going to see it through?
You know what's crazy, Maj? I think my entire life has really been like about resilience and staying true to the test. And you know what I mean? That's something that I just, as a little kid, you know what I'm saying? Like when I tell you this all the time, like I used to be like huge and like just like going through that process of losing weight, that was already resilience when you want to quit, when you want to give up. So I just thank God for allowing me to go through that. But on top of that, just having that resilience at an early age, you gotta just know, like, why are you doing something? Like, what is your why? Like, are you trying to do this because you want to get fame? Are you trying to, like, what is your why? You know what I'm saying? For me, I know that the trajectory of what my future is going to be able to like open so many doors for so many other people, break generational curses, get people to talk about their struggles. And unfortunately, we live in a world where until a person sees somebody that they know, you know what I'm saying, can do it. And it's just like knowing your why, and then also knowing kind of what by how you sticking true to the test can help so many people. That's what keeps me going. And also not only just that, but that why, really, you have to understand what your why is, because I promise you that why is going to be the only thing that keeps you going when you want to quit. Because it's moments where you're like, you know what, I'm tired. I keep getting no's. I keep getting rejections. People say I'm good. People say I need to get work. It's so many things that's coming at you. You got people in the entertainment industry trying to talk bad of your name. Like, it's so many parts of the enemy. Like, you have to be a special kind of person to mentally deal with the turmoil of this city. Like, it's so much complexity. It's so much, like, it's just so much. It's different. You know what I mean? But you got to just know your why. You have to know who you are. And truly, and I know like that seems so, we hear all the time, but it's so true, because that why is going to get you up every single day out the bed. And when you don't feel like yourself, you feel like you're ugly, you feel like you don't look like your best self, like, it's like, you know what, yo, like, I can keep going. And I would just say knowing your why and just having a good tribe of people who remind you like of the like the strides you've been making, because a lot of times we're so busy on the now that we can't appreciate the process and we can't appreciate the growth that was already being established, and because we're so focused on like where we're trying to go. And so it's a lot of growth that's been happening. I think it is a lot of obstacles, but it's a lot of growth. So like, you know what I'm saying, like pick which one is, you know what I'm saying, ways the best for you, and then, you know what I'm saying, use that to your best ability to keep going.
And when you mention growth, right, you've said that a lot, just like how much you've grown and how much you've learned. What is most rewarding for you? Like where you are right now, and just thinking about everything that you've overcome, and everything that you've learned and how much you've grown. What is most rewarding for you in your role or in this space that you're in?
I would just say, honestly, Maj, is that you don't have to be anybody but yourself. You know what I mean? Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, we hear so many things about, like, you got to do this, you got to do that. But no, you can be yourself, and just being comfortable to be myself in every room, no matter where I'm in. Because there's been a lot of good opportunities out here in LA. I can't even lie. Like, God really has blessed me. But I would say the key to my success is just being Jamal. I can't be nobody else. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that if I used to think that could hurt me, or, you know what I'm saying, or they could, you know what I'm saying, help me. But I just realized at the end of the day, like when I go to sleep, all I know is Jamal Averett, that high energy person. So it's like, you're either gonna rock with me or not rock with me. You know what I mean? But either way, like, I can just say, like, I've been myself every single day these past 2 years, and it has gotten me far. And I just look forward to just doing that. Like, because you hear so many stories about like people just changing who they are, the core of who they are. You see it all the time. You see people, you be in rooms, people, you know what I'm saying, who's smoking like crack cocaine, all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying, and just being able to be so aware of your surroundings. So, you know what, like, I'm not going to do this because just to, you know what I'm saying, to fit in, or I'm not going to go to this opportunity because it looks good. The energy not right, I'm not in the door. I do believe sometimes you have to do what you have to do, but for me, it's like at the end of the day, like the energy has to be right for me. And it's like, that's why we are blessed to be doing what we're doing. Like for you starting your podcast, for me doing this on our own journey, because our experiences are going to make room, and we are enough, and we are the room. And you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. So I would just say, just being able to be myself, being consistent. And when I go to sleep at night, I wake up knowing that, Jamal, like, you being yourself, like you're yourself. I don't have to worry about changing up for nobody. And I love it.
I love it. So we haven't gotten a chance to catch up yet, but I actually I had lunch yesterday with Dorian. So we I know, right? Hey, Dor. Yes, I gotta tell you about that offline. I love Dorian so much, but we gotta chit chat. But so Dorian and I were talking, and we were talking about just like some of the decisions in my life, and just like, you know, where I want to go next and things like that. And we were talking about taking, you know, leaps of faith. And so he ended up telling me that he actually, before we went to lunch, he had talked to Judy Rashid. I was like, I know y'all don't know these names, but that's not the point. So anyway, he was telling me that he and her were having a conversation about, you know, taking leaps of faith and, you know, just taking risk and doing what you want in your life. And one thing he told me that she said was so important to me, and it just resonated with me. I've been thinking about it since he told me. He said, whatever risk you choose not to take, and whatever decisions you choose not to make, whatever it is that you want to do, and you choose not to do it, honey, that's gonna be sitting right there with you at your deathbed. So when you on your deathbed, you're going to think about everything that you chose not to do, whether it be because of fear, because of doubt, because of worry, because of anxiety, because of any of those things. And that just shook me. It shook me. And it really made me think of why taking a leap of faith is so important, because I don't want to leave this world, leave this earth with any regrets, but not just that, but I don't want to leave with the ability to say, I wish I would have done such and such, or I wish I would have done such and such. I want to be able to do everything that's in this mind. You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you, why do you feel taking a leap of faith is so important?
Oh my gosh. It's like,
Child.
It's one of those things where it's like, are you breathing? Like, Are you still earth? Like, are you waking up every single day? That's why it's important. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I'm like, why waste a breath like not being happy? Why waste a life not being like, that's kind of how I feel. I look at it, I'm like, if you still have another day on this earth to do something great, I don't care what it is. Like, and my thing is, why we fear? Like, I understand why we fearful, but like, let's go down and break this whole fearful thing down. Like figure out why is it fearful? Like, is it fearful because you don't know how you're gonna, pay your bills? Is it fearful because like you just never seen it done? Like, figure out what fear looks like for you and figure out how to, like, have surgery on that thing and dissect it and figure it out and whatever. And then once you figure out the root cause of that fear or what it is, I know for me, my fear came from just not feeling like I was enough. I wasn't confident in myself. I never seen it done before. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad was, he wasn't my life like that at all. He was on drugs heavy. And so, my fear was like, I don't want to, go down that same path. I want to make sure like I'm living a life of happiness because I want to be able to take care of my, my people, to take care of my family. So I think when you figure out what your fear is or what it is that's like holding you bound, like holding you like not feeling like you can do it, that's how you're going to be able to overcome that fear. Until you do that, like, it's always going to be fear. Like, fear is always going to live with us, but figure out what's your fear, like what's the root cause of your fear. And then when you figure that out, like, you're unstoppable. Like, it's game time. But I would just say taking a leap of faith is important because it's like we have life. We all have a purpose on this world, like on this life. And you said it best. It's like you don't want to be old and like asking yourself and wish you would did everything else. But on top of that, it's like you want to be able to. I want to be like, I'm like, God, if you gave me another day, if we made it 2021, I'm like, it's a purpose to me on this earth. So like, I don't want to block your purpose to my life by me just being fearful over something that I don't have to be fearful of. I need to just trust you with everything, and I got to give you my all and just know that it's all gonna work out. So I would just say that.
Yeah. Another thing that you said that I really loved was kind of talking about this being a trial and error experience for you because, taking this leap of faith, there was nobody, in your position that you could call on and say, I need help. What did you do when this happened to you? What I'm saying? How did you respond when this happened to you? And the thing about it is, I don't think it's just you. I think that's what happens when you take that leap of faith because in reality, there's not a lot of people that are bold enough or courageous enough to take a leap of faith. So you find yourself in those spaces where I don't have any friends I could call on to talk about this particular situation because this is trial and error for me. I'm the first to do this. So another thing you said was because you've taken this leap of faith, now you can help somebody else, right? Like now you can be that mentor or that friend from somebody else who wants to up and move somewhere or chase their dream career and they don't know how they're going to do it. So what advice do you have for people who are in this place where they want to take that leap of faith, but like you said, it's fear, right? Like, I'm afraid. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pay my bills. I don't know what my friends are gonna think. I don't know what my family is gonna think, and I just don't know if this is gonna be right for me. But I feel it. I want to take this leap of faith. I feel like this is my purpose, but I am so scared. What do you tell them?
I was just telling them, bro, like, just do it. Like, honestly, like, and I know it's so easy to say than done. I promise you, like, I don't even know how to break it down. It's a mental battle. Like, it's a mental battle. It's really a mental battle. It's a mental battle. But you just gotta say, like, screw it. I'm just gonna do it. Like, I know that's so like common and it's so like people always tell the time, but like, there's no other way. Like, you just gotta just like do it. Figure out kind of what your why is and figure out kind of like, ask yourself, like, are you happy? And the thing is about this happiness, like, success doesn't find like happiness for me. I feel like you define happiness by like how you feel on your way to success. You know what I'm saying? Like the strides you take, the how you overcome those obstacles. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's people who are successful right now who are just depressed. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, don't get it wrong. Like taking a leap of faith in whatever it might be, to be a rapper, to be whatever artist, to be this famous, whatever. Like that is good, but are you happy? My thing is, I'm like, God, if I ain't happy, I don't want it, God. I'm like, Lord, I just want to be happy, Lord. I want to be happy. I want to be able to tell these stories, and I want to be happy. But you realize as you are happy, what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? What comes with the, like, when you are reaching a level of success. But I would just say, honestly, just do it. Like, why keep wasting time? You know what I mean? Like, this year was already tough for us. Like, we survived the pandemic. Let's let's just even put that out there. Like, for real, like we got through 2021. 2020 has been a really tough year for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like it was a tough year, but my thing is we can survive that. Like, you can survive anything. Like, what you fearful of? What are you like? Literally, like that right there. I feel like that was right there was just like if there was like an EOG test we had to take, you know what I'm saying, before we tapped into our greatness, you know, I feel like that was the test we had to take, and I feel like we all passed because we still here. So I'm like, you know, when you got your test results, you got the test, you know what I mean, you passed it. So use what you learned your whole life to activate and like push that to your fullest potential, and let that drive you, like let that motivate you, let that encourage you to know, like, you know what, I done did what most, you know what I'm saying, I done did a lot already. I overcame a lot already. So this is nothing but a check off my checklist.
I love it. Come on, check off the checklist. Child, this is so inspiring because it like you said, it's just do it.
Like, you're so inspiring, bro. Seriously.
You know what? One thing I love that you said, when you talked about, fear and stuff like that and realizing what those things are. One thing I realized about taking a leap of faith, honey, them fears ain't going nowhere. I don't know if y'all know that. They're not going nowhere. Them bills ain't going nowhere. Your family ain't going nowhere. Them friends ain't going nowhere. So whether you do it or you don't, they're not going nowhere. You might as well do it. You know what I'm saying?
Always going to be something. Like,
it's not going nowhere. It might look a little different once you move into a new era, but it's not going anywhere. So why not just do it? Like you said, why keep wasting time? Just do it. I love that. That's going to be my Maj moment for today. Just do it. Literally
just do it. Because like you said, like, it's not going anywhere. And I think we think like once you take the leap of faith, like it's going to go somewhere. But I'm like, you know what? If anything, like you taking that jump is going to be able to help you navigate through those other times when you're feeling low, those dark times, those no's, those rejections. Because I promise you, it's been a lot of no's. Like, it's been a lot of no's. Don't get me wrong. It's been a lot of no's. A lot of no's. Like, a lot of no's. But as you always say, the queen, the 81, no doesn't mean it's over. You know?
Okay. New opportunities.
You feel me? So it's like using that. Honestly, Maja, my prayer for everyone in this world just is that we can really take control of over our mind and our overall thoughts and be able to navigate that. Once we're able to navigate that, we are unstoppable. We are keys and queens, and we can navigate and really jumpstart something that's already inside of us, light the fire that's already inside of us that's been waiting for us to light, because it's already lit. Don't get me wrong, the fire has already been lit in us. It's just like, you know what, taking the next step, and you know what, I want to make a volcano.
Come on, volcano.
You know what I mean? So I look at it like that, but I just think, you know what I'm saying, like, just do it. Like, just do it. Just do it. We are birthed, we are equipped, we are ready. You know what I'm saying? We prepared for this moment, so just do it.
I love it. Just do it. That's gonna be my Maj moment. Jamal, I thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I just love telling different stories because somebody is going to relate some way, right? Like, you may not be able to relate to my story, but maybe they can relate to your story. Yeah. And I don't know, I'm just inspired by that because I think I'm in a place where I'm, just trying to figure out life, right? Like, I think it's trial and error for everybody. And don't get me wrong, I'm scared too, child. I get scared a lot because I'm very calculated. I'm a planner, I'm structured, and I'm like, if this don't fit into the plan, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. But sometimes what the real purpose don't fit into your plan. Yeah. And so I think that's one thing that I'm learning. And that's why I said the tip that Judy Rashid gave Dorian about, all the things that you choose not to do are going to sit with you at your deathbed or at your deathbed. It was just like, wow, if I don't do this, it's not going to get done. You know what I mean? And so this conversation has inspired me. I mean, just child, you have defied all odds. Okay. Like,
queen, you are my queen. Like, my so special. Like, I'm sorry. I am just excited, like, because just our growth as a unit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just remember, like, just like 2015 and just like us just like being everywhere together and just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just being at eyes and, you know what I'm saying? Both of our journeys together, man, it's so special. Like, the fact that we are even having this conversation now, like 5 years later, still ain't nothing changed, you know what I'm saying? And I'm so proud of you, Queen, truly, and I'm always gonna be in your corner, always root you on every step of the way. So,
honey, you know I'm here. Just make sure I got some free tickets somewhere, BT Awards, Grammys, or something. Okay, guys. Okay, the Oscars. I just need. I can get the dress. I can get the dress and get my makeup done. I just need the ticket, honey. Just send me the ticket. No, honey, I am honored to be your friend. Honored, and not because of where you're going, but your choice to pursue where you're going. That is the encouragement for me. That is the inspiration for me. So I just thank you so much for doing this interview. First of all, this is long overdue.
It's a long overdue.
And you know what's crazy? Actually, you know, the first time we talked about doing an interview together, I was actually going to kind of theme it around homecoming because it was around October. And then me and Asha ended up doing an episode together.
Shout out to Asha. I saw that.
First of all, our episode was great, but I'm glad we didn't do the homecoming episode because I think this was a lot more valuable. And relevant. So I think, you know, I feel like we had so much more. Homecoming is great, but I feel like we had so much more to dive into. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, so that's all I have. We need to do a catch-up session. So I'm gonna text you. So I'm gonna text you and get some time so we can do a catch-up session. But again, thank you so much for being here and shedding some of your light and giving us your inspiration. Your words mean the world.
Oh man, no, thank you so much. This is awesome. Like I said, I think this is amazing. I think what you got going on is so special. Like you said, like right now, it's a tough time. So coming together and giving people stories about their trajectory, like you said, like the things they're going through, the things they've been able to overcome, is so essential. It's so important because where we all are headed. And Queen, the doors are opening, Queen. So just stay the course. And congrats on the recent job. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So I will keep you posted on the episode and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Blessings.
Love you. Bye. All right, y'all. That's all I got for you this week. Y'all, next week is the season finale. I don't know. I'm so sad, but I got to do this so I can bring you way better content for the new season. So I'm taking some time to plan and do some rebranding and all of that good stuff so I can come back better than ever. So I got something really exciting for the season finale. So y'all make sure y'all look out for that. And I will catch y'all then. Peace.
Let me get the mic. Honey, I got something to say. Ooh, I like that. Can you turn that up for me? No, like, it's Maja. But you know, Maj for short. Ask Maj.